Or do we need to start bringing fire again because Garchomp makes people's brains break and they become like a crazy person shouting on the bus? You know, Count Garchomp is a Ferrothorn with the Stealth Rock and Leech Seed. Man, I am having fun today. I just kind of woke up and went, yo, I'm excited for Crown Tundra competitive. Wait, I need to think about the Pokemon I'm going to be using in the Crown Tundra and then team building and all that other fun stuff. So I'm just having a good time. And if you're having a good time too, don't forget to leave a like, share this video with your friends, and comment your thoughts down below on the Pokemon shenanigans you are planning on busting out for the Crown Tundra. So yeah, I just kind of looked at the list and I was like, well, I've already talked about all these Pokemon effectively and the best ones and stuff, but now I want to think about how it works for me, because we got some Pokemon that we use, and I don't know what's going to happen in the Crown Tundra. Like, is Garchomp just going to take over, and then it's like, lead Garchomp, Swords Dance turn 1, Dynamax, game's over. Same thing for Dragonite. And then it feels bad if you let that happen, or if you just kind of like bring counter leads, then it doesn't happen, and then the game gets all weird and stuff. I don't know, because I'm thinking like, well, with Garchomp, a lot harder to use Toxapex. Toxapex, still filthy AF though. Hippowdon, that's going to be a new series. We're not going to have Hippowdon banned. It's coming back. So, I mean, there's a lot of cool Pokemon to use, like Comfey. And that's why the Pokemon I'm going to show in this video, it's not like, oh, I'm only going to bring a team of Crobat, Swampert, Metagross, and that's it. It's going to be integrating the Crown Tundra Pokemon with the meta, with my current team building strategies and plans. But I've already made some shifts. Like, this is my current team that I'm using in Pokemon Sword and Shield. This is like the least Verlisify team ever made, but I'm having fun with it. And it's like, yeah, what's Darmanitan going to do with less speed than Garchomp? So Scarf Chomp's still going to be a thing, but then that means you don't have the Swords Dance. So non-setup, airstreamed, whatever, Garchomp into Scarf Darmanitan gets a little wild. I still might bring Darmanitan. That sounds like a fun Pokemon to just bust down people with. Silvalley's Bulk, Rotom's setup, Primarina's Bulk, Volcarona's setup. Like, we're just having fun, guys. So some of these Pokemon might stay. This might just be Isle of Armor Series 6 meta only, and then I never use any of these Pokemon again, except for like maybe Darmanitan. Primarina's starting to pull weight though. So I'm trying to think about all these things in different ways, and we have Crobat. Crobat, I like this Pokemon because it's not going to eat up a Dynamax slot for the most part. Like, that's kind of what the Pokemon game is boiled down to, is like, you have dedicated Dynamax slots, and then that can restrict team building. I've done videos about it. But like Crobat, you just go Curse Acrobatics. What is the opponent going to do about 130 speed Pokemon, besides some of the faster Pokemon that we have now in Airstream and Scarf and whatnot? But I mean, for the most part, like, we're in this weird stage because there's no middle ground on speed. Everything is slower and doing all kinds of weird setup stuff, or faster and then just kind of weak because of it, or it's like a Gyarados that already got 2 Airstreams or something. But I mean, like Crobat, Curse Acrobatics, 110 base power, +1 on the attack. Wider means your speed doesn't go down and it auto-procs the acrobatics. Cross Poison is good. Physical Poison into Fairies at stab +1. That Pokemon's going down. And then Leech Life, if you get the opportunity to just kind of heal up, also really good, because Crobat is going to take that hit on the first turn or as it comes in. If the opponent can't directly one-shot you because it isn't set up, Crobat can come in the mid-game and clean up really well, especially with like other damage that's been kind of spread around throughout the battle. And 85, 80, 80, not the tankiest Pokemon, but does have that natural survivability. And I was trying to think like, well, what does this Pokemon do with a Dynamax? It doesn't, because you're taking a hit. So you're already at less health. You don't want a Dynamax then, because then you're not getting effective health growth. And it also works weird with like Acrobatics just being less damage than using some other moves, because we could Brave Bird and then get extra damage on top of that without I don't want to think about that. I just want to think about Crobat coming in and being strong. Because like +1 Acrobatics, you know, it has more of a base attack than Talonflame. Choice Band Talonflame isn't really that much of a thing. So we're like edging out that Talonflame damage, which is really nice, and then we just have solid speed behind it with the coverage that you don't find on other Pokemon like that. So that's going to be pretty cool. Swampert. You got to do it at least once. Like, when Swampert becomes available, got to go Mirror Coat counter. Shell Bell is the old meme, but here's the thing, like, Shell Bell is such a strange item. I've talked about Shell Bell at length before because it's just like a horrible thing to use. If you have to two-shot the opponent, it's worse than Leftovers, because Leftovers is 1/16 every turn, so 2 turns is 1/8. Shell Bell, well, yeah, if you don't one-shot them, you're only getting 1/8 of your health back. Also, it's the damage dealt to the Pokemon. So if the other Pokemon has lower base hit points than you or lower hit point investment than you, you're actually not getting 1/8 of your hit points back. So you're actually getting less than that, and that could be weird on a Mirror Coat counter strategy. I think Citrus Berry is just like the play here, because Citrus Berry is 1/4 of your health. So that means you need to get more than 2 Mirror Coat counter levels of damage. Now, if you do like one-shot a Garchomp on Avalanche and you just get 1/8 of the health back like that, feels pretty good, but rough skin. Earthquake, same thing. If you like one-shot a Pokemon not using Mirror Coat counter, can maybe have more effectiveness on that Shell Bell, but like Citrus Berry is good. And I'm kind of like kicking myself. I wasn't using a Confusion Berry Swampert counter Mirror Coat back in Generation 7. We got half your health back, which is effectively another full bar on Pokemon. Like, the ideal scenario is that with this max hit point investment, the opponent does like 40% to you, and you counter them. And then they do 40% to you, then you counter them. Then Citrus Berry procs, and then they do 40% to you, and you counter them. And maybe they have a slow Pokemon left, so you Earthquake them. Like, Swampert can get so many points out of that. And then the same thing happens, like, if you have the Confusion Berry, your numbers start looking a little better, and you have better ranges on that. Now, so far, it just seems like full defense investment stupidity shenanigans have been taking over the game. Like, max special attack, max defense Vaporeon into Dynamax, apparently the most filthy thing ever. That's kind of cool. So, I mean, if we look at it like this, like, yeah, just full defense investment, that's going to work. You can still take a special hit, and that could maybe be ideal. You take a special hit at max 100 hit points with a 90 base special defense, taking 60%, 70%, you Mirror Coat, you KO, then that means Citrus Berry is activating, pushing you back over 50%. You survive the physical hit because you're full defensive investment. That's another KO. So hopefully 1-for-1, 2-for-1 Swampert's going to be a thing. Not going to be like a mainstay on my team because, like I said, like, team building is already kind of weird, and I don't want to get too cute with like Swampert Crobat core, and then I just lose to like an Ultra Beast or something, I don't want to see the game fall apart like that. So I'm just going to see how this ends up playing out, but it's going to be something fun. You have to use it, you have to play it out. Metagross, same thing. It's like, hey, this is an instant setup bulky Pokemon. Instead of taking 4 or 5 turns to become unkillable in this Dynamax crazy damage kind of meta that's kind of been developing, go Metagross. Problem is, Dark Urshifu slaughters this Pokemon, so that could get problematic. But what I like is like just that natural bulk, I agility, and then I'm going to wreck you on coverage, kind of. It's like Ice Punch, you one-shot Garchomp, Iron Head, that's going to be Stab, chance to flinch, Life Orb is a lot of damage on top of that, and you're just kind of fast. So it's like, depending on that, you have some survivability. Worst case scenario, you agility, take too much damage, don't have the coverage, Life Orb Explosion, KO the opponent. You 1-for-1 on the Metagross, and if you find like coverage or those extra hits, 1-for-2. Like it. So I mean, it's again, like one of those fun Pokemon I can just drop. I'm trying to think, it's like, do I not need agility? Because, like, Earthquake is kind of cute coverage inside of that, but, no, I think this could work. Hopefully this works. Maybe this does a thing. So we'll see how that Metagross goes. Like, if you Dynamax, it just becomes tankier. You can also slow down the opponent, but that doesn't matter because of the agility. So, maybe it's not Dynamax. That's why I like. So far, these Pokemon are not Dynamax only, and it's like, oh, just kind of a fun, splashy kind of Pokemon to add on my team, like some of these Pokemon I've been using recently. So that's kind of cool. Archeops. Still trying to figure out what to do with Archeops here. Do you want the Citrus Berry? That way you have an effective 225% health if you immediately Dynamax, and then that means you have like 175% of your health to play with, but before Defeatist activates instead of 150%. So like, is that Citrus Berry going to matter? Has cool synergy with the acrobatics, so that's probably the reason why you want to go for it. And then it does get like kind of clutch though. It's like you have to have the perfect Citrus Berry into back over half your health for the acrobatics to work, and then everything's popping off. Or do you just Life Orb? Like that's just where you get your damage. The problem then becomes, how do you do damage with one of your stab moves? Because Rock, not fantastic. You miss a Stone Edge, you get procced into Defeatist, and then your Archeops is useless. Rock Slide, low base power. Nothing you can do about that, even on the 140 attack. You don't kill the opponent, it doesn't get flinched, you take hit under 50%, and then your game's over. So, it's kind of a thing. Now, Fly does have, like, use inside of it. Like, that's a decent enough base power. Especially if you're trying to go for +1, or maybe Dynamax boosting. That can get you somewhere on the Archeops. And if they Dynamax, you can use that to cancel out their Dynamax turns. That could maybe be the opportunity. So, like, Life Orb Fly, sounds ugly, and not the good kind of ugly. Not the Vaporeon ugly. This is just ugly. Like, don't even want to look at it. Breaking mirrors. But I think it can work, because there's like two schools of thought here. It's like, do you just want to kill as many things before your defeatist activates, or do you want to kind of play around the defeatist and then stay as powerful as you want for as long as you want? Like, Fly Life Orb. You go double your health, use Fly, they hit you with a whatever attack, and then that keeps you above half your health, even with Life Orb, even with the Dynamax, even with that turn. So now it's like you're +1 speed, and you're doing filthy things. And then Focus Blast. This is the only fighting move I can find that works on Archeops. You know, it's like Rock Smash. I think the 40 base power Rock Smash is going to be worse than the 120 base power special attack. However, Rock Smash getting boosted and only using it for Dynamax might be better. Like, it only goes to 70, but then we're also thinking about the cap, that Focus Blast is 95. So actually, Rock Smash might become more damage? But there's also a good chance that Archeops loses the Rock Smash. TM, HM, is it a TR? And I don't pay attention. God, the list of Pokemon just never ends. Yeah, it's not like a magical TR or anything. Huh, Rock Smash just kind of got curved, didn't it? And then maybe if there's like new tutors in the Crown Tundra that kind of bring back some of the older moves. Still waiting on Defog, still waiting on Roost. I don't want Roost Volcarona back in the game, but hey, still waiting on those. So if those come back in, there is a case for Archeops to get something out of it. So I mean, it could go either way. I find Focus Blast viable because a 140 Life Orb, like a 140 attack, Life Orb, max Airstream into a Focus Blast at 112 special attack, that's KO combo. So you have +1 speed, +1 attack on the Archeops. You get free coverage on your next move, throw out another Airstream. That's going to KO. Now you have double speed. Doesn't even matter at that point. You know, that's why I'm thinking like Jolly versus Adamant. But Jolly, you need it to outspeed Scarf Garchomp. So then you can still match with that Pokemon, blow it up on a Dragon Claw. That's also going to be pretty cool. That's why I have the Dragon Claw here. Mostly just because Garchomp. Kind of need it. Also, the coverage gets kind of fancy. 3 not very effective. Celesteela, Corviknight, Skarmory. These Pokemon do suck to go up against. Normally, Skarmory, Corviknight are going to be defensive investments, so I mean, the Focus Blast might work, or if you like use 2 Max Knuckles on them, might have something happen. So I mean, yeah, you can just actually, defeatist always puts you on that timer, but if the opponent's setting up, you can still try to milk more out of it. It's just kind of like, how do you get this to work as effectively? And then Earthquake, you just do the damage, it's that coverage, it makes almost everything a neutral hit, and then you also have some good things out of it. Like I said, you fly to anti-Dynamax, or you fly when you know it's safe. If they have a Choice Scarf Pokemon or Choice Band Pokemon, you're okay to fly into them with a +1 stab, Life Orb attack or whatever, maybe +2 if some weird things happen in the game. So now we're starting to get into those risky situations. Like, if you bring Archeops, it's going to have to be your Dynamax Pokemon, or maybe not. Maybe it just works now. Maybe it just works where, like, you bring Archeops in the late game, and then you just, actually no, with the Fly you can't, and I guess that means you have to find some weird way to insta-cheese the acrobatic. I think you have to Dynamax it, but when you Dynamax it, now we're dealing with a filthy Pokemon that's so strong in, like, the ancient times of Pokemon, it had to be hard nerfed by defeatist. Celesteela. Still don't know what to do with this Pokemon. I'm bouncing between Muscle Band and Weakness Policy. Like, Weakness Policy is the disgustingness, and, like, Weakness Policy acrobatics. Whew! Dynamax, oh, Beast Boost, oh, it's so filthy, but it does rely on you having to get hit. However, I think, like, when you see a Celesteela, you have to throw supers at it. So, you'll find them. Like, you're going to find an electric type move to eat, you're going to find a fire type move to eat, you're going to take a super effective, I feel. So you can play that, but also the Muscle Band, I think that's enough. Muscle Band gets you to that first Beast Boost, augments the Beast Boost further, and then you're still going to be slapping people around. And once again, it's like that case for Fly. Life Orb Fly, Muscle Band Fly versus consumable acrobatics. Fly, still very powerful. Only needed for the Airstream. Like, here's the thing. Celesteela worked incredibly well for me back in Generation 7, all because of that Heavy Slam. You got Totemize, Heavy Slam, that's a KO. Beast Boost, now +1. That's a KO. That's a KO, that's a KO. Just Heavy Slam everything. Whatever you can't Heavy Slam, you hit with an Earthquake, you're fine. I had Flamethrower for the Ferrothorn. We're seeing less Ferrothorn, so maybe Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is weird with the Dynamax, though, because I'm flying. I don't get the boosting from it. I don't get the extra healing. I don't get the extra damage. Kind of sucks. But looking at the physical coverage for Celesteela, I don't see anything else. Like, Rock Slide, maybe slightly more effective than the Seed Bomb for the flinch. Zen Headbutt. We have Earthquake for Toxapex, though. I haven't thought about other new moveset things it can get, or TR, TM, tutor interactions for the Celesteela too much. And maybe there's something I'm forgetting about one of the new tutor moves that it gets. Like, it gets Burning Jealousy. Sweet, we'll use that. I don't know, maybe not. Flame Charge, 4 times super effective, plus 1 attack on a Ferrothorn might KO, maybe not because full defensive. However, if you max that and then you get Sun and then you have extra damage options inside that, could have the Flame Charge for Dynamax only into those super effective hits. But then that Heavy Slam takes care of the game. And plus 2 Beast Boost, Earthquakes onto Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn isn't going to like. And then Muscle Band boosting that further. But the Weakness Policy is also good. However, Weakness Policy plus 2 is doubling your damage. Plus 3 with a Beast Boost is only 2.5 times damage. So, I mean, it's still a lot more. We're still getting multiplicative stats that are doing crazy things, but Weakness Policy Beast Boost doesn't ramp as hard. However, by the time you plus 2 on Celesteela, everything dies anyways. And I know Heavy Slam doesn't work against Dynamax Pokemon. Doesn't matter. You fly. Actually, the Heavy Slam Fly synergy is maybe one of the weirdest things no one's ever talked about in Pokemon until now. Heavy Slam, oh, it doesn't affect Dynamax. Fly, well, it only really works against Dynamax to eat up a move and then get some solid damage down, because if you fly and they set up against you, feels bad, you lose. But with this, they can't set up, so you fly and then the game gets kind of funny. You're also very fast, because that's kind of the whole point. You want to get 2 airstreams on your fly, finish off a Heavy Slam or an Earthquake for defense, special defense, depending on their team composition, and you're filthy. So you free up the Totemize on Celesteela, put in some stab that augments into Dynamax, and now this Pokemon's good. I think Muscle Band probably tips over some of those damage numbers that we're looking for. Plus 1 Heavy Slam Muscle Band, nothing survives that. Plus 1 Earthquake. Maybe that actually just starts killing things now, or a stray super effective move or something. So things to consider. Celesteela still gonna be strong, and gonna use Cresselia, guys. Here's the thing, I don't know what's happening in the game. Like I said earlier, is it just going to be Garchomp lead, Dragonite lead, and the game's over, and maybe we never see Ferrothorn? Or do we need to start bringing fire again because Garchomp makes people's brains break and they become like a crazy person shouting on the bus? You know, count Garchomp, it's a Ferrothorn with the Stealth Rock and Leech Seed. You know, are we just going to see that kind of stuff? In which case, if you lead a Ferrothorn because your brain is broken and I lead Cresselia, I think that's game, because these stats were not supposed to get cosmic power. I can't look at the screen. That's another kind of ugly. I can't look at it. It's too ugly. Oh god. But it's one of those things. Why run Toxapex? Why do you have incentive to run any other tank Pokemon but the Cresselia? I guess Toxapex to anti-Cresselia, but it's going to just cosmic power, stored power, blow you up. You need a better toxic Pokemon, and you can't run toxic Pokemon because those are almost all poison now, and then stored power is disgusting. And maybe Chesto Resto is still the case for this Pokemon, because if you're at +3 cosmic power, you wake up and you've only lost a third of your health. So if you do Chesto Resto instead of the Moonblast, can't do anything about Cresselia. On that, leftovers. But it's like, why? So that's going to be one of the factors we're playing with. It's like, does that just cause everyone to revert? Landorus and Garchomp come back in the game, everyone goes stupid, and then tanks work again, even though there's so much power on the table that tanks should never work again. Like, that's again, kind of the problem I've been seeing. It's like, well, all my tricks are out of the bag and they don't work as well as they used to. It used to be, if I go Toxapex, Skarmory, Hippowdon, or not Skarmory, Corviknight, Hippowdon, back in December, I could win every game, because people just don't care about it. Then January was weird, and people started running like sub-Butterfree and Taunt every game. Like, I went up against 3 Taunts in a triple battle. Or not triple, but you know, in like a 3v3 singles battle. Excuse me. That got, like, that was out, and then it just started to wear off again, so people realized that they can get blown up by offensive pressure if they're running more than 1 taunt. If you're running taunt at all, you can get steamrolled by an offensive team. So I started using tanks again, and then I went undefeated, and then the Crown Tundra introduced Urshifu, and the game got a lot harder, and Urshifu got a lot more popular, and now there's so much more power in the game, I don't know what tank Pokemon are going to do. So I think, like, Hippowdon, Comfey, probably going to be the brings, but then this is where Cresselia has to power creep the power creep to extra creep power to then just be the best tank Pokemon to ever exist. And I can do that. And what's it go do? I know it says stored power is illegal right here. Data mine shows it gets TR stored power. Great. Same thing with Cosmic. Great. Or that's not supposed to be Moonblast. It's supposed to be Moonlight. Oopsie. That's been on. You know what I'm talking about. And I talked about Chesto Resto and I talked about Moonlight. So that's going to be kind of the Pokemon I'm looking for. Interestingly enough, I have 6. This might work as a team. This probably doesn't work as a team. But it's a thing to consider. And it's like, yeah, if you just like throw out Cresselia and they don't lead Taunt, I don't think you can lose the game. And then you have like Archeops as instant Dynamax to just kind of do some cool things, or other instant Dynamax Pokemon. But this also doesn't factor in how useful the new Pokemon are going to be. I might bring Regieleki if it's absurd. I might bring Regidrago if it's absurd. And like, oh, I can't have 5 Life Orb Pokemon on a team, but Specs Regidrago is probably going to be fine. And then the Galarian birds could be really strong. Like, Zapdos looking good. Moltres looking fancy. Articuno might be the sleeper here. And Galarian Slowking, like I said, if it still has Regenerator and it's just like a tankier Slowking or more optimized Slowking, can run that as well. And then just be set up. Iron Defense, Calm Mind, blow things up, have a good day. Good coverage as well. So, Calyrex might be a usable legendary, kind of like Urshifu. Might also have its fusions be usable as well. Might have the base Pokemon that it fuses with be usable. So any of these Pokemon, depending on how cheeky they are, could also be slotted into my team. But I think I have enough to work with here. I've got a tank if I need an extra tank. Cresselia is probably never leaving my team, and those battles are going to be boring. I'm sorry about that. Cresselia, or not Cresselia, having Cresselia and Celesteela on the same team is also going to be a death sentence to my brain, but if it wins, it wins. So, I mean, Celesteela. This is the Dynamax Pokemon that I need. Like, you know, sometimes I have a hard time, like, figuring out, like, oh, Duraludon as my default Dynamax Pokemon. That's kind of cool. Eats up my Life Orb. Celesteela, Dynamaxes, maybe doesn't eat up my Life Orb. So, that's also really nifty. And then it's also just stats. You know, even if they have a +2 Garchomp and I Dynamax Celesteela, what's the +2 Garchomp going to do to it? Not kill me. So I 2-tap the Garchomp onto Airstreams or something, and then I get my Beast Boost and I still have a turn. Who knows? You know, it's going to be weird. Or I Heavy Slam the Garchomp and then I get those stats. And now I'm defensively tanky. Like, the 61 speed makes it kind of weird, because, like, I have to use Airstream twice if I want to be perfect, but maybe there's a game state where you go Fly, Earthquake, Heavy Slam. So now you're +1 defense, +1 attacks, +1 special attack, +1 speed, or not special attack, special defense, +1 speed, Celesteela. Against an opponent that only has like less than 100 base speed Pokemon left on their team. Sounds good. Metagross is fun. And then like the rest of these Pokemon are fun to use. But it's like Crobat, instant setup. Might be able to bring the team together. And then I'm looking at some other ones like, yo, Choice Band, Rillaboom. Probably going to be really weird with Garchomp. Like, you go Grassy Terrain, Rillaboom, and then you go 2-shot Choice Band on the Garchomp. You have high defensive bulk and high hit point bulk, so Rillaboom's just going to survive whatever Garchomp throws at it. I don't think Garchomp can one-shot Rillaboom. And then you're going to have Grassy Terrain healing you up, and Garchomp only gets 1 hit on your Rillaboom. So it's like, yeah, Garchomp's going to be healing, or no, you're going to be healing off the rough skin, I mean. And then you just hit him with 2 Grassy Glides. Cool. And then that's like Choice Band Pokemon backing up my Choice Specs Regieleki, backing up my Cresselia Tank Core with the Comfey or other Pokemon. Like, they have a Dark type Pokemon, Comfey comes in and doesn't care. Cool. Also, another idea for the Cresselia is you go Keyberry. So you go Keyberry, Calm Mind, amp that stored power even faster, max defense, max hit points, and then you go +1 defense on that max defense and like +2 special defense, and now you're stupid. And the Ice Beam can also have a lot more pressure over the stored power, because like this Pokemon's just better than everything. Pokemon's better than Chansey setup, better than Toxapex setup, better than any tank Pokemon now that it has stored power. So I might have to think about Pokemon on my team to remove this threat as well. So there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the video. That's what I mean. I'm having fun. I woke up, all these thoughts hit me at once. I'm like, this could get interesting. And this also is ignoring some of the other Pokemon I could be forgetting that I've already talked about, because my brain is overloaded at this point. I want to use the Regis. Dude, Dynamax Regirock sounds super fun. Dynamax anything sounds super fun. So there's like just there's a buffet of Pokemon to use. Never really used Dragonite, so it's like, yeah, it'd probably be exciting and fun to use, but not my kind of Pokemon to use. So I mean, there's a million Pokemon I can use. I talked about Pheromosa. Pheromosa's cool. Buzzwole is like one of the other best defensive tanks in the game. And then I back that up with something that doesn't care about flying. Sick. So, meta's going to be all over the place. There's going to be like a million disgusting Pokemon that I'm going to be very happy to use. And that doesn't include the new ones or other tricks the Game Freak could pull. Tutor moves, buffs, nerfs, fanciness like that. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.